50 years and the building's been there over 100. So there's enough repairs to be done.
Okay. Why would you like to serve on the elections board?
I've always held voting to be a very special right that we have. I've participated in it myself as often as possible. Over these 50 years, I've learned to have some expectations as a voter, what to expect, whether it's ease of polling place or whether it's access, et cetera. And over the past few years, I've really become discouraged with what I see. Primarily, most of us are on Facebook, and it takes about 10 seconds to see what someone has an opinion about. And if I ask people if they voted for about the past 10 years, it's increasing in the number of people who tell me that it's not worth it, it's corrupt, it's not worth my time, it's inconvenient, it's fixed, it's whatever. They've been disillusioned with this important right, and they've removed themselves from the democratic process that they've been afforded. So I understand why they feel the way they feel. I had hoped that by participating in this, by working closely with the other members of the Bureau, to be able to establish some additional credibility. So at least the voters within Luzerne County don't feel quite as disenfranchised from the process, and that their vote is counted correctly and it matters. So while I believe that voter integrity is an issue that's even greater than the vote integrity itself, we can do all safeguards, we can take all measures to make things right. If someone has malintent to do harm or disrupt the process legally, we have to do everything we can to stop that.
Thank you. Do you have any conflicts that you know of that might prohibit you from serving on this board?
The only scheduling conflict I have is Sunday, the 15th into the 16th of May.
Okay.
Other than that, I'm free and open.
All right. If you became aware of an issue while serving, are you willing to communicate your concern of that issue to the county council?
Absolutely.
Okay. Thank you. Every person appointed to an authority, board, or commission shall take an oath of office. The oath must be administered in person and signed by a district judge or justice. Do you have any issue with taking the oath of office?
No, I do not.
Okay. Are you available to attend all the scheduled meetings of the board?
Yes, I am.
Okay. And I just want to clarify. I know that the elections, the board chair Denise Williams did ask us to sort of clarify that a little bit, that especially after the election, there's the adjudication process, which takes about 2 weeks. So you'd be available for that?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
And Mr. Laporte, that's during the day they do the adjudication.
Yes, I'm available.
Okay, I'm just to
Yes.
clarify what.
Yeah.
I have a lot of flexibility with my work schedule.
Whatever, and that's fine. I just want to make
Yes.
sure you know that's during the day.
Yes.
Versus late afternoon or evening.
Right.
All right. Thank you very much for that. Have you read the bylaws of the election board?
I looked for the bylaws of the election board and could not find any, so I read yours.
Okay. All right. Thank you. The Home Rule Charter does not provide for any compensation for board members of the Luzerne County authorities, boards, and commissions, with the exception of the tax assessment board. Would you abide by the charter and not be compensated?
Yes.
Okay. Have you ever been a paid poll worker?
No, I have not.
Have you ever been a member, or have you been a member of your political party for at least the past 5 years?
Yes, I have.
Okay. Have you ever been an officer in your political party?
No, I have not.
Okay. Do you have any other questions for the committee?
Not at this time. Again, thank you very much for the opportunity to present myself as a candidate. And I appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mangan.
Thank you for
Appreciate
coming
it.
out for the interview. Appreciate your interest.
Thank you.
Yeah. Miss Littleton?
Yes, I'm via Zoom.
Okay, thank you. Okay, can you please tell us a little bit about yourself and your interests?
Sure. I am currently working at Penn State Wilkes-Barre. I run the Rehabilitation and Human Services program. I've been out there, oh gosh, this is my 8th year now. Prior to that, I worked in the mental health field. I'm a licensed professional counselor. I'm a nationally certified counselor. I specialize in working with children, adolescents, and their families. I did extensive trauma work, crisis intervention, I was supervisor of a program out at State Street Elementary. We incorporated different aspects, including case management, crisis intervention, as well as individual, group, and family therapy, and a lot of behavior management in the classroom. My whole career, I worked in the school systems, public and private. And then I started teaching adjunct at Misericordia in their psychology department, and then I got the full-time position at Penn State Wilkes-Barre. And so this is my third year actually serving on the MHDS advisory board. And so I put in my application to continue to stay on the board if possible.
All right, thank you. And the second question is going to be kind of redundant, but why would you like to serve on this board?
Just my experience, in the past 2+ years on the board. I'm learning. That was, it's my first time, so I kind of sat back and kind of took everything in, and I'm still learning. But it's a really great experience, especially with having my students complete an internship. I can, continue networking with people in the field and staying up to date on what their needs are in terms of, professionals coming up, what kind of education they need, what kind of information is most important, as well as skill sets. I have, my background, my clinical background, but it's been 8 years, so things change. So I like to stay up to date and make those connections and continue networking and offer support where I can. And also, continue making those connections to see, and making sure my students are set up with the marketable skills that they need, as well as serving the needs of the community.
Thank you. Do you have any conflicts that might prohibit you from serving on this board?
No.
Okay. If you were to become aware of an issue on the board while you were serving, are you willing to communicate your concern to the county council?
Oh, yes.
All right, thank you. Every person appointed to an authority, board, or commission shall take an oath of office. The oath must be administered in person and signed by a judge or district justice. Do you have any issues with taking the oath of office?
Nope.
Are you available to attend the scheduled meetings of the board?
Yes.
And have you read the bylaws?
Yes.
Thank you. The Home Rule Charter does not provide for any compensation for board members of the Luzerne County authorities, boards, and commissions, with the exception of the Tax Assessment Board. Would you abide by the charter?
Yes.
Have you ever been a paid poll worker?
No.
Okay, thank you. Do you have any other questions for us as a committee?
Nope. I just thank everyone for their time.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Melissa.
Thank you.
Ms. Arreguin? She's not on. Okay. All right, we'll skip her for now. Mr. DeFabo? Thank you very much for coming, Mr. DeFabo. Can you please tell us a little bit about yourself and your interests?
Okay, my name is Paul DeFabo. I'm a lifelong resident of Wilkes-Barre. I presently am a realtor for classic properties for the past 21 years actually. I was an owner operator of Mr. Donut and Curry Donuts for 20 years. I also had a Popeye chicken for a couple of years. And so now I'm still working for Classic, but it's more of a part-time basis. I got, I find myself with a lot more time on my hands. I previously served on the election board for 4 years. I think my term was up, I think it was January of 2019. So I'm pretty familiar with the election board. I know things have changed somewhat, but that's not a problem. So I had time. I figured, well, I want to get back in. I was starting to see what's going on in the country and what's going on in Luzerne County. And I figured, well, I've always participated. I've never been not involved. I think it's like 40 years with the Republican Party. And I said, well, let's see what I can do. So there was I figured, well, we'll give it a try. And I think I can do it. I was a past vice chairman of the election board at that time.
Okay.
So that's basically it.
Why would you like to serve on this board?
As I indicated, I do have the time, and I think I can make a difference. I know what I've been involved. I know how it works, and I think I can contribute. So I am available for almost any time. And because like I said, I'm a Realtor and that's basically part-time at this point.
All right, thank you. Do you have any conflicts that might prohibit you from serving on this board?
Not at all.
Okay. If you became aware of an issue while serving on any of the boards, are you willing to communicate your concern to the county council?
Absolutely.
Okay. Every person appointed to an authority, board, or commission shall take an oath of office. The oath must be administered in person and signed by a judge or district justice. Are you okay with taking that oath of office?
Fine.
Okay, thank you. You did check more than one of the boards. So can you indicate your preference, starting with the one you'd like to serve on first and second,
Yeah.
et cetera?
I didn't know what's
Okay.
open. I just put those down.
Okay, all right, thank you. Okay. Okay, are you're available to attend all the scheduled meetings of the board?
Yeah, I'm very dependable.
Okay, all right, great. And then obviously, we have, like we spoke before about the election board, the adjudication process for the 2 weeks after the election, you'd be available for those times as well?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. All right, and have you read the bylaws of the?
Not really, but like I said, I was on there, so that was my education.
Okay. All right, the Home Rule Charter does not provide for any compensation for board members of the Luzerne County authorities, boards, and commissions, with the exception of the Tax Assessment Board. Would you abide by the charter?
Sure.
Okay, thank you. Have you ever been a paid poll worker?
No,
Okay. Have you been a member of your political party for at least the past 5 years?
yeah, like 35, 40.
Thank you. Have you ever been an officer in your political party?
I was vice chairman of the election board, but, and I was vice chairman of Luzerne County Republican Party. For a while.
Okay. Do you have any further questions for the committee?
No, I'm fine.
Okay. All right, thank you very much, Mr.
Appreciate
Fable.
the opportunity.
Absolutely, we appreciate you stopping by
Thank
and
you.
applying.
Thanks for your
Thank you.
interest.
Pardon?
Thank you.
Thanks
Thank
for your
you.
interest.
Dr. Frankel, he's on. Did I say that right?
Yes, you did.
Okay. All right, thank you, sir. We appreciate you coming on. Can you please tell us a little bit about yourself and your interests?
Yes, I've been a biologist all my life. I'm a Penn Stater like Miss Littleton. I was at Penn State Hazleton for 44 years, retired 3 years ago. But I've always been interested in the arts, and I've found a way to get myself involved in arts activities, even though I'm professionally a scientist. I've been on the board of the Hazleton Area Concert Series for, I've lost track, but I think about 20 years. And I've been co-president of the Hazleton Art League for the past 12 years and a member of its board going back probably 25 years. And starting when I was a kid in Montreal, there was a rundown part of town that became totally revitalized because the city built a concert hall. The arts moved in. And since I moved to northeastern Pennsylvania, I've seen town after town being revitalized by the arts. And Hazleton's going through that process right now. We have a beautiful new center and lots of activities. And it's just joy to participate in that kind of process where you bring people together, people of different nationalities, people speaking different languages, people of all ages, through their appreciation of the arts. So, now that I'm no longer a professional scientist, I've been devoting most of my retirement time and energy to my passion for the arts.
Thank you very much. And why would you like to serve on this board?
Well, that sort of repeats what I just said, but also, no offense, folks, but I'm sure you know that people in the southern end of Luzerne County sometimes feel a little chippy and a little neglected by people in the northern part of the county. And I love the idea of a countywide arts advisory board. And I would like to make sure that what's going on in southern part of the county is represented.
Thank you very much. Do you have any conflicts that might prohibit you from serving on this board?
No,
Okay. If you became aware of an issue while you were serving on the board, are you willing to communicate your concern to the county council?
absolutely.
Okay. Every person appointed to an authority, board, or commission shall take an oath of office. The oath must be administered in person and signed by a judge or district justice. Are you willing to take the oath of office?
Yes, I found the oath online and it's a very reasonable oath, absolutely.
Thank you. Okay. Are you available to attend the scheduled meetings of the board?
I hope so. But the Arts Advisory Council doesn't really exist yet, so I don't know when the meetings are. I certainly hope I'll be available to attend meetings, or perhaps the meetings can be scheduled around. I can't answer that honestly since we don't have schedules yet.
Thank you. Have you read the bylaws?
There are no bylaws as far as I could find. When you go to the Arts Advisory Board page, blank.
Oh, they're not. Oh, okay. All right.
So I'm getting into the ground level of this board, which is exciting. Or it would be.
Okay. Thank you. The Home Rule Charter does not provide for any compensation for board members of Luzerne County authorities, boards, and commissions, with the exception of the Tax Assessment Board. Would you abide by that rule of the charter? Have you ever been a paid poll worker?
No.
Do you have any other questions for the committee?
Well, the questions I have are the ones about how the board is going to function, and the committee doesn't have the answers. So, no, I don't have any questions. I would like to thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you very much. We appreciate you. We appreciate you coming on and applying. Thank you.
Dr. Franco, Dr. Franco,
Yes.
thank you for the opportunity to be a member of the Arts Advisory Board. I see that you're on the Hazleton Art League. I just passed our beautiful facility this past weekend, so I'm really happy that you're getting involved in this new Arts Advisory Committee. We just started it a few years ago, and it was a long process because of COVID. We stuck with it, and it's just starting. I think we have now 3 members, but I'm really happy. I've known you a little bit from afar from Hazleton. I'm a Hazleton resident all my life.
Right.
For the last 10 years, I've been mountaintop, but I'm glad that you are reaching out and becoming a member. Good, we need you. Very good.
Thank you, sir. Next time you pass by the
Yeah.
new Art League, you should drop in. We'll give you a tour.
Okay, some Saturday I will.
Thank you, Dr. Franco. And again, you should actually get in touch with some of the people from Pittston, because we have a really revitalized town, a lot based on the arts as well. So definitely stop by there and see if you can get in touch with a couple of the people that are involved in that, because I think they'd have some interesting things to say.
Thank you. And Pottsville and Bethlehem and a lot of places, we are trying to get ourselves to the position where we can do some really good networking. But
It's amazing how integral the arts are.
Yeah.
Okay. Ms. Pasuri,
Yes.
did I say your name right?
Yes.
Okay. All right, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and your interests?
Right now I live in Harding, been living there for 16 years. I worked for the Office of Aging for 14 years. I retired 3 years ago. And now that I have more time, I spend most of my time with my grandchildren, 2 teenagers. And I have time to spend on things that I enjoy doing.
Okay. Thank you. And why would you like to serve on the Aging Board?
Well, I'm in the aging population. We have a large aging population in the county. And having worked in that field, I was the community health nurse for the Office of Aging for 14 years. I think I know some of the needs, and I think I have a lot to offer in that area.
Okay, thank you. Do you have any conflicts that might prohibit you from serving?
No,
If you became an issue while you were serving, are you willing to communicate that issue to the county council?
yes,
Every person appointed to an authority, board, or commission shall take an oath of office. The oath must be administered in person and signed by a judge or district justice. Are you willing to take the oath?
yes,
Are you available to attend the scheduled meetings?
yes,
Okay, thank you. And have you read the bylaws?
yes, I have.
The Home Rule Charter does not provide for any compensation for the board members of Luzerne County authorities, boards, and commissions, with the exception of the Tax Assessment Board. Would you abide by the rule in the charter?
Yes,
Have you ever been a paid poll worker?
no,
Do you have any other questions for the committee?
no,
Okay, thank you very much.
okay.
We
Thank you.
appreciate it.
That's your interest.
Thank you. Thank you.
Miss Kreidler Lucina. I'm sorry if I said that wrong.
No, you're okay.
All right, thank you, ma'am. We appreciate you coming by to interview with us.
Thank you for having me.
Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and your interests?
Yes, I'm from Nescopeck Township. I've been there since 2014 with my husband when we purchased our home. I'm 58, I'm disabled. I have some physical limitations, but with this board, the limitations are what I'm allowed to do. Sit, stand, and I don't have to lift over 5 pounds or anything like that. I've had some back surgeries with a cage put into that prevents me now from doing that. I've lost my spot. Sorry.
That's okay.
I mean, I have 7 adult children. They're all grown. They all have their own businesses, or they're over-the-road truck drivers. I have several grandchildren. I don't get to see them much because they're all grown up now. Just learned yesterday, my oldest granddaughter is going to be graduating next year. And she's just like, she's off in her own world. So you get left behind as you get older, you know, and it's just a pattern that happens. Life is so busy that you just forget. I changed my political party back in 2014, became a Republican. There was a lot that caused that. I've seen both sides of the spectrum, from looking out, looking in, and looking in, looking out. So it, you know, gave me, I thought I need to change because one side isn't doing what I grew up with. Everything was different when I grew up. Now it's not like that. It's like it's done a reversal. So I've had an interest in politics for a while. I also had an interest in elderly and the veterans and animals. But with raising 7 children and most of it being a single parent, you tend to put everything that you want to do on the sidelines to take care of your family. And that's what I did. My children came first. I made sure they had a good education, that they followed their dreams that they wanted, that they were respectful to everybody, even if they didn't agree with what they had to say. So now here I am. The last election, my husband wrote me in as a candidate for a committee. He just said, I put you on the ballot for a committee. I said, okay. Didn't hear nothing until this past January, 5 months ago, when a gentleman showed at my door and said that I was on the Republican committee for the 116. Said, oh, okay. And my husband said that would be me. And I was like looking at him and I was like, okay, let's see where this goes. So we sat for a couple of hours talking and I decided to go to the meeting. It just happened to be the meeting of us electing who we wanted to go to Harrisburg to represent us for the temporary state representative. At that meeting, I kind of learned a lot. Became very, how would you say, angry, upset within the next couple of days, well, next couple of weeks, when we were told at a meeting that whoever we wanted to go to Harrisburg, that the county commission, the county Republican Commission would stand behind us. And it didn't work out that way. So at that point, I started, you know, reading up on things and looking at things, and I've saw both sides. I see from the outside why people don't want to vote, why they feel it's not fair or free. I see it because now I'm on the inside looking out, and it's like, how do you expect people to vote if you're telling them one thing to their face and behind their back you're doing something else? We need to have fair, free elections and integrity, and in doing that, we need to, you know, that's all I hear is fair, free and election. How do you do that if it's, you know, people have a right to go out and vote? They have the right to vote without feeling that they are being pressured on who to vote for, what way to vote. They have to be able to do that. They have to, be able to vote. One of the biggest things that I have a problem with, and I don't know if this is the right time to bring it up, but is the drop boxes. That one, they're not fair, especially if you have somebody living in Dallas who's their drop box, they can go until 5 o'clock and drop something off. But then in West Pittston, you have a drop box at the library and they close at 4 o'clock and somebody doesn't get out of work till 6. They don't have that option. I'm not sure if it's gone on in our state. I'm sure it has, where we have people dropping off more than one ballot. They're dropping off for many. And I mean, we've seen it in other states. We've watched the videos of them dropping off in others, more than one ballot. I believe that my feeling is if you can go to the grocery store to shop, you can go to Lowe's or Home Depot to buy wood. You can go to the movie theater to watch a movie. You can go to the bank to make a deposit. You can do all this other stuff. There is no reason why you cannot show up at the polls and vote in person. And that's the biggest thing I have is those drop boxes. I don't use them. Last year we got many. I actually had to call up here to Luzerne County and say, will you please stop sending us the mail-in ballots? We didn't request them. Within a week, we had gotten like 8 of them each. There's 3 of us in our house. So imagine you're sitting there with 24 ballots to do mail-ins and you're like, I'm going to the polls to vote. So that there is some issues that need to be fixed, and I do believe I could help fix them. You're elderly. There's no reason. I mean, a lot of them live in nursing homes. Well, I shouldn't say a lot. Some live in nursing homes, some live at home. There's no reason why us as their children can't say, hey, come on, I'll take you to the poll so you can vote. To help them along, because believe it or not, there's a lot of scams that go on out there, especially with the elderly. I'm disabled and I get them all the time. We want your vote. We'll come to your house. You'll fill out your ballot. We'll take it for you. No, I'll go to the polls. But there, a lot of elderly don't understand that. And we need to help them to fix the issues. We need to get people back out there voting. We need to get their confidence back into the voting system. It's been down. I'll be honest, I was helping 2 candidates between the 116 and 117 put door hangers out. When you come upon somebody and they see you putting it on, you say, hey, are you registered to vote? Oh, no, I don't believe in that. Well, why not? Because they don't care what you have to say. You don't have a voice. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. But they feel it's so crooked that they don't vote anymore. I've seen the paperwork that the guys would give me to go help them. And it shows how many times a person has voted. And you'd be surprised how many elections that people haven't voted in the last 4 or 5 years because they just don't, there's no trust there. So pretty much my interest, the elderly is making sure they can vote, the veterans, the same with them. And animals, I just have a passion for them. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Is there anything else you'd like to add about why you'd like to serve on this board?
I think I basically touched it.
Okay.
So,
All right, thank you. Do you have any conflicts that might prohibit you from serving on the board?
no,
If you became aware of an issue while you were serving on the board, are you willing to communicate that issue to county council?
yes, and I believe I've proven that as a citizen. I've twice now have sent emails to all of you. And both times someone has gotten back to me.
Okay, thank you. Every person appointed to an authority, board, or commission shall take an oath of office. The oath must be administered in person and signed by a judge or district justice. Are you willing to take the oath of office?
Yes, I am.
Okay, thank you. Are you available to attend the scheduled meetings of the
Yes.
elections board? Okay, and have you read their bylaws?
I didn't find any bylaws for that board. I have looked over the county councils, and I've also been reading the home charter rules. There's a lot of pages there, so it's a little bit at a time and comprehend what's.
Okay. Thank you. The Home Rule Charter does not provide for any compensation for board members of Luzerne County authorities, boards, and commissions, with the exception of the Tax Assessment Board. Would you abide by that rule of the charter?
Yes,
Okay, thank you. Have you ever been a paid poll worker?
no,
No. Have you been a member of your political party for the past 5 years?
yes,
Have you ever been an officer in your political party?
no, I'm just a chair, what they call it, a committee member.
Okay. That's not the position. So, okay. And do you have any other questions for the committee?
No, not at this time.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Yep.
Thank you very much. We appreciate you coming.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Mr. Fitzgerald.
Hey folks, how you doing? Luzerne County? First of all, I'd like to withdraw the elections. Post, yeah, I wouldn't qualify because I haven't been a Republican long enough. I switched to independent because my daughter was a Democrat. We agreed to go independent because it's in-home fighting. So we decided to go and I switched back and she understood. So I'm going to take myself off of that because it's against the bylaws.
Okay, thank you. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and your interests?
Yeah, absolutely. Number one, we all know I'm a fighter. You know, I have passions for something. If I have a passion for something, I'm going to give 100%. I'm going to outwork everybody. I definitely love helping people. I love helping people more than love helping myself. You know, I do have some passions in life, and that is always to help someone that is more in need of myself. And also, if I see a wrong, I try to make it right. And if anybody that knows me, I'm not a hypocrite. I'll look myself in the face and I know when I've done wrong and I admit to it and I move forward. And I think that's a great attribute for helping other people, where you can look yourself in the mirror and tell them to look in the mirror and become a better person. As far as my history, my professional experience, I work for ABC Bail Bonds right now, been there for 5 years. I started off as a posting agent. I am now the area director. I do all the training. I do credit pulls. I do everything I can. And I'm in charge of over 25 counties. Before that, I was 10-minute bail. And before that, I was in North Carolina. I worked at American Quality Remodeling. I do sales and marketing and management. Tire Kingdom, I worked there from 2008 to 11. I started off as a manager, and they decided to make me an area director of sales, where I was over 13 different. It's $1 trillion conglomerate across the whole world. Before that, I was partial owner with my wife at Blue House Mortgage, Bankers Mortgage, Wholesale Lending Group. I had 3 different affiliations. One I sold to Bankers Mortgage. And that's a little bit about myself. Right now, I do some work in the community. I do mentorship through the CARES program in the federal system. I mentor about 6 people of different demographics than me, Muslim, Black, Spanish. I try to make sure that we're all loved. We're all God's kids. We realize that we all make mistakes and we have to overcome them. And because I have overcome many times, I'd like to see that I'm a person, a good role model. Not always, but now I am. And I definitely try to help people out. That's a little bit about myself.
Thank you very much. You have anything else to add about why you'd like to serve on these boards that you have listed?
Yeah, I think I have insight that most people can't. There's 2 types of wisdom in the world. There's book wisdom, that you can read a book and regurgitate and take a test and then become a manager. And you could say, this guy said this, and this is how we should run it. Or you could have life experiences, the kind that I wish on nobody I have. So I can be insightful, I can help, I could give a different view. And also, I found out that during these things, whether it's a federal judge, federal prosecutor, where I go to the CARES program, the people in the community that are trying to redevelop, they come to me more. And a lot of the people within the federal system say, call TJ. Because sometimes when you're looking in a hole, it's easier to get down in that hole, say, hey, I've been here before, and pull someone out of that hole, than to look down and say, hey, I've never been there, but I read a book on how to get out of it. So I have some really good life experiences to help people in Luzerne County out of bad situations.
Thank you. Do you have any conflicts that would prohibit you from serving on any of the boards that you have listed?
None whatsoever.
Okay. If you became aware of an issue while you were serving, are you willing to communicate your concern to the county council?
I think I do more than that. I think once I was, you had me at one of these committees, I would take direction from the council. I would see what my position is, or you would tell me what I could do, what I couldn't. I'd reach out to anybody and get their input. I'd actually do a lot of your work for you because I know that this is a part-time $8,000 a year job and you have other stuff. But my passion is helping people. So I would proactively engage myself and see where there was shortcomings and where successes were. I report back to the council, and then I would be a big ally to use and to all of you in the community.
Okay, thank you. Every person appointed to an authority, board, or commission shall take an oath of office. The oath must be administered in person and signed by a judge or district justice. Are you willing to take the oath of office?
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you. You checked more than one board here for your application. Can you indicate which one you prefer, starting with the one you'd like first and second, and then so on?
Well, there's only two. It's
Oh, that's right,
yeah,
okay.
no, you're fine. The first one would be the drug and alcohol, because I'm an ex-addict, ex-felon, as I don't hide. And basically, that would be the best one. As far as look at the CARES program, one of the things I did when I, turned my life around, I volunteered at a church where I would be the bus driver that would go to elderly homes, and I would pick up people, help them get on the bus. Don't like to tell people what I do because the left hand isn't supposed to know what the right is. And I don't want to ruin my reputation with you guys of being a tough guy. But basically, I would help people go to church, put them in the front row. If they went to the bathroom, I'd take them, the men, and I would clean their diapers, their depends, wipe them, get them back to church and take them home. So either or, I think would be a great asset. I think it's probably 60-40 split. I think the drug and alcohol would probably, but either one would be, I would definitely help you all.
Okay, thank you. Are you available to attend the scheduled meetings?
I will make sure of it.
Okay, thank you. And have you read the bylaws?
I didn't have a chance because I didn't realize today I got from Sharon, the email, and that's fine. It happens. It was, but I will read the bylaws. I will adhere to them, and I will, help to the council.
The Home Rule Charter does not provide for any compensation for board members of Luzerne County authorities, boards, and commissions, with the exception of the Tax Assessment Board. Would you abide by that rule in the charter?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not doing this for money. I also help at the Keystone Mission with prayer and the mail. When Janetti's got displaced, I'm also a part of Restored Church. I went up there. I bought food. I bought pizza for the people that were displaced. I also helped in that also. So I'm already doing the job. I just can help council now.
Awesome, thank you. Have you ever been a paid poll worker?
Yes.
Okay. And do you have any other questions for us as the committee?
No, not at all. Just I appreciate the time that you guys are putting in, and I look forward to helping the community.
Thank you very much, TJ. We appreciate you.
Y'all have a blessed day. Thank you. Thank you.
I believe Miss Aragwin is on now.
Yes, I am, and I'm so sorry I was not able to log in on time. We were traveling today, and my Zoom wasn't functioning, and finally got through on the phone. But thank you for your patience.
That's okay, ma'am. No worries. Can you first please tell us a little bit about yourself and your interests, please?
Sure. I'm a retired accountant from Tucson, Arizona. I worked for the Sheriff's Department for about 6 years. Prior to that, I was a bookkeeper in the local school district in Tucson. Prior to that, I was a mother and wife to 3 beautiful children. My husband and I moved to Pennsylvania 4 years ago, almost to the month coming up, for a job of his. And so I'm retired now, and I volunteer at Geisinger at their orthopedic clinic and their cancer center. I like to exercise and hike and knit and visit my 6 grandchildren. I'm currently still on our church finance team, so I keep up with that. And I enjoy serving the community.
Why do you want to serve on this board?
Well, I believe it's very important that we have safe and secure elections and by all registered voters. I've never been a poll worker. I've thought about doing that before, but it's never been, I've not been able to do that due to my work schedule. But I just feel like it's another way to serve the community. I believe in elections. I've voted in almost every election since I've been a registered voter. And I really enjoy the fact that in this country, we have this ability to vote and vote freely and safely.
Thank you. Do you have any conflicts that might prohibit you from serving on the elections board?
No, I do not.
Thank you. If you became aware of an issue with the board while you were serving, are you willing to communicate your concern to county council?
Yes.
Every person appointed to an authority board or commission shall take an oath of office. The oath must be administered in person and signed by a judge or district justice. Do you have any issues with taking the oath of office?
No, I do not.
Okay. Are you available to attend the scheduled meetings of the elections board?
Yes, I accept that I did look at the schedule for the rest of this calendar year, and my mother's 80th birthday is the first week of August, so that's the one I know in advance I would miss.
Just to clarify one other piece for the elections board, there is the adjudication process, which goes on for about 2 weeks after the election. Some of that is during the day. Will you be available for that as well?
Yes.
Okay. All right, thank you. Have you read the bylaws?
Yes, I have.
Okay. The Home Rule Charter does not provide for any compensation for board members of the Luzerne County authorities, boards, and commissions, with the exception of the Tax Assessment Board. Would you abide by that rule in the charter?
Yes, I will.
Okay. You said you've never been a paid poll worker?
Correct. Yes, I have never.
Okay. All right, thank you. Have you been a member of your political party for at least the past 5 years?
Yes.
Have you ever been an officer in your political party?
No.
Okay, thank you. Do you have any other questions for us as the committee?
No, I do not. Thank you very much for your time.
Okay, thank you very much, ma'am. We appreciate it. Thanks for hopping on.
Sure. Thank you so much. Have a good afternoon.
That is, that's all of our candidates. We'll open the floor up to public comment now. Anybody for public comment? Anybody on Zoom for public comment?
Mr. Chair, this is Mark Rabo speaking.
Go ahead, Mr. Rabo.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As far as for the election board goes, I just wanted to make things clear from the last meeting as far as the Dropbox issue and some people saying about Dropbox security not being such a massive problem. I just wanted to inform the committee that a few weeks ago, Lehigh County District Attorney Jim Martin found that he was reported in having 288 cases of mail-in ballots that were being dropped in a Dropbox without attestation forms. So I would like to know from, Mr. Chairman, in your capacity as Vice Chairman and the other committee members and the rest of council, if you would be discussing this at tomorrow night's meeting with regards to possibly our district attorney being able to be requested to monitor the drop boxes to ensure that there be no instances of tampering and fraud with those drop boxes, because this is a very major problem. This was foreseen in 2020, and unfortunately, it has come to pass with Lehigh County. So, and they are, if Mr. Chairman, if you remember, they are a fellow home rule county like we are. So I would hope that the council can discuss this matter expeditiously, because the primary is next Tuesday, And the voters need assurance that their votes are secure and there's no diluting of votes with multiple mail-in ballots being dropped in drop boxes. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Rabel. I know that members of the elections board are working on making sure that that the ballot boxes are secure. I'm not really sure where they are on that, but I do know that that's been a topic of conversation on the board. Anybody else for public input?
Motion for adjournment.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much.
Recording stopped.